Hello, today I'm going to be talking about caffeine. I'm going to be going over some of the benefits, some of the disadvantages, types of athletes who can benefit from caffeine supplementation, NCAA guidelines, and recommendations for athletes based on some of the current research. So to begin, caffeine is a naturally occurring substance that is found in things such as tea, coffee, or cocoa. It can be found in various forms, so over-the-counter medications, energy drinks, or in pill form. Caffeine is an ergogenic aid which has been shown to have benefits in performance and increased alertness. Is a central nervous system stimulant. So basically just a general feeling of being more awake, being more alert, and it can have improvements in endurance performance, strength training, sport-specific movements, and a reduction of perceived exertion. Some of the disadvantages of caffeine use is that it can have gastrointestinal issues, headaches, increased heart rate, anxiety, and trouble falling asleep for individuals who utilize it in different timelines and too much. So it can almost kind of negate some of the benefits that an individual can have throughout the course of a day. Types of athletes who can benefit from caffeine supplementation or use. There's no one set demographic who benefit more than the other, as there have been positive studies to show athletes who are more geared towards endurance versus athletes who are focused on strength training and kind of everything in between, sport-specific movements. All of them have had positive benefits. So there's not one specific demographic. However, there are people who are responders and there's people who are non-responders. So no one's going to react the same way to the same dosage or same intake of caffeine. So it's very highly individualized. So that's something to take into consideration. The NCAA guidelines on caffeine is that it is a banned substance. And for NCAA athletes, if there is a urinary concentration higher than 15 micrograms per milliliter, which is around 500 grams of caffeine, 2 to 3 hours before competition, you will result in a positive drug test, as it is a banned substance in the NCAA. So recommendations is that caffeine should never be used as a supplement or a reliance for energy. It shouldn't be a substitute for a healthy, balanced diet, or it shouldn't be dependent upon for performance. 2 studies that looked at varying levels of dosages. There was one study that looked at 3 milligrams per kilogram of body mass, and there was one that looked at 6 milligrams per kilogram of body mass. The 3 milligrams had improvements for a variety of sport-specific movements, high-intensity situations, and there was a lot of positives and just overall performance for the athletes. And then on the other hand, there was, for the 6 milligrams per kilogram of body mass, there was also improvements, but there was a lot of drawbacks in terms of insomnia, just a general feeling of kind of fatigue towards the end of the night, things of that nature. So just higher levels of milligram supplementation versus a lower can have varying consequential effects. So I think that caffeine should never be used as a supplement for a healthy, balanced diet. I think that it has its needs and its aids, but I think that for athletes in this demographic, it should be utilized sparingly, and I never think that it should be considered something to rely upon.